Hello, children. Good morning. Let us study the story The Rat Trap in detail. This story is a philosophical one, and you are going to come across a number of difficult words. So, this story is very important to build up your vocabulary, at the same time, to change your perspective upon life, to have very optimistic viewpoint whenever we face the challenges, whenever we come across the difficulties, we start thinking negatively about life. The similar way, the rat trap peddler thinks about life very negatively because he has come across those people who are totally self centered and who are always behind him to put him in jail. And he himself finds a lot of difficulties to survive in this world. And therefore he feels the world is a rat trap. William Shakespeare has also given us different perspectives in his drama. The world is a stage. For a man, it's like a drama. The world is a stage where we are all acting, where we are performing different roles at different phases of life. And here, the rat trap peddler feels the life is such that we are always caught in to kind of trap. And there are so many temptations that catches us into a trap. So let's study this very interesting lesson, the rat trap. The Rat Trap story is written by Selma Lagerlöf. She was a Swedish writer, born in the year 1858, died in the year 1940. A Swedish writer whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs through all of them, a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. It's a key sentence, and you have to remember this sentence. Essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. And this is the message of this story. This is the moral of this story. And what is the moral? Essential goodness can be awakened through understanding and love. This story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, Sweden which is rich in iron ore, and it figures about its iron industries or iron ore, figures large in the history and legends of that country. The story is told in the manner of a fairy tale. So at the end, we have very positive note. So it ends with positive note. This story is like a fairy tale. See the beginning. Once upon a time there was a king, and the king had a queen. Similar way, to make it very interesting, the writer begins in the similar style. Once upon a time there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. So who was he? He was a rat trap peddler, rat trap sailor. The whole story is revolving around this rat trap sailor. And a very important story. from the examination point of view. He made them himself at odd moments. He made those rat traps whenever he got time from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. So he used to beg and then get those materials and then make the rat traps of wire. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. It was not lucrative business. It was not profitable business. So therefore, what he had to resort to? He had to resort to. So he was compelled, he was forced to both begging and petty thievery. So sometimes he used to even steal. So he was resorted sometimes to begging and sometimes even stealing the things to keep body and soul together to survive. To somehow survive, he sometimes even stole the things. Even so, his clothes were in rags. They were in pieces, they were in rags. His cheeks were sunken, so malnourished. He was not getting enough food to eat. And hunger gleamed in his eyes, and one can see the hunger in his eyes, gleamed shining in his eyes. So when one is to see his eyes, one can see that he had not had enough food to eat. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road left to his own meditations. So his life was very sad, very monotonous, very boring life he was leading. He was a vagabond, homeless. He did not have family. He did not have his own house. And he was all alone. And he was leading very boring life, very sad life. And he was walking on the road, plodding, walking slowly, heavily. So he was left to his own meditations. He was always engrossed in his own thoughts. This man who was leading very monotonous life was leading very boring and sad, gloomy life, walking with heavy feet on the road all the time, engrossed in thinking. Suddenly, one particular day, a thought came in his mind. But one day, this man had fallen into a line of thought. A particular thought came in his mind. And what was that thought? Which really seemed to him entertaining. And probably it was quite entertaining for him. It was quite interesting for him. And what was that thought? He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world around him, or the whole world about him, the whole world with its lands and seas, its cities and villages was nothing but a big rat trap. Suddenly an idea has come in his mind. And what was that idea? That the whole world is nothing but a trap. So here suddenly he has stuck with this particular idea that the whole world with its lands and seas, cities and villages, nothing but a big rat trap. So they are all similar to the rat trap. So he thought that there was no meaning as far as existence is concerned. There was no meaning in the existence of this world. And this world was nothing but a temptation. So it had never existed. This world had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits, temptations. Now, food that is placed on a hook to trap a rat. So here it is referring to the what? It is referring to that bait in the trap, but here it means also comforts of life, temptations. It offered riches, the luxuries, comforts, joys, shelter, food, heat, and clothing. And that's why you want to live in this life. These are all attractions, these are all temptations, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. In the rat trap, cheese or pork is kept, and then rat gets attracted to that. As soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bed, the moment you touch that bed, that temptation, it closed in on him and the world is over. Then everything came to an end. And as far as that rat is concerned, everything comes to an end. Similar way it happens in the case of a man. When he gets caught into that, when he gets addicted to that, when he thinks about nothing else, only about that, then it's over. Life is over. He just gets caught into that. The world had, of course, never been very kind to him. And so it gave him unwanted joy, unusual joy to think ill of it in this way. So he was thinking ill of this world. And it provided him unusual joy. It provided him a lot of joy. It became a cherished pastime of his. So he started enjoying that, thinking about that, doing many dreary, very dull, gloomy ploddings when he was walking slowly, heavily, to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare. Snare again trap. So those people who have been caught in this dangerous trap and of others who is still circling around the bed, around those temptations, those who were circling around those temptations. One dark evening, it was evening quite dark. He was trudging. He was walking very slowly. Trudging, walking slowly. So he was trudging, like plodding, like trudging. He was walking slowly along the road. He caught sight of a little grey cottage. What did he see? He saw a cottage. And when he saw that little grey cottage, which was by the side of the road, then he knocked on the door. What he did, he knocked on the door to ask shelter. He wanted a shelter for the night. Nor was he refused. So he was welcomed. He was not. So he was welcomed. The shelter was provided to him instead of the sour faces which ordinarily met him. The owner, who was an old man without wife or child. So this old man was all alone. He did not have wife nor children. He was all alone and very happily he welcomed him. Was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. So he was all alone. He was very happy. So usually he used to get no sour faces. Means he used to face the sour faces. People never liked to provide him shelter. But here was an old man who welcomed him. Immediately put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. He provided him food too. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. And he provided him even pipe. And immediately he has carved off. He has divided that tobacco roll into two and he could give him, and both of them they smoked together. Finally he got out an old pack of cards and played majlis with his guests until bedtime. So he was provided food, so he provided him supper. Then after that he provided him tobacco for smoking, and then both of them they played card game too. So he was very hospitable. He welcomed him not only with food, he provided him to play game too. Such a welcome he received. This old man was generous, very kind, was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. So for supper, for dinner, he provided him porridge. For smoking, he provided him tobacco. But he was also such a person that who believed him very much. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity, his host had been a crofter at Ramjo Ironworks and they had worked on the land. So he had worked on the land. He was a small farmer, marginal farmer, crofter. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, he was not able to work during daytime. It was his cow which supported him. Yes, that That big one was extraordinary. And how it was extraordinary? It was extraordinary because it provided him enough milk. Not only for him, even for the creamery. He could sell it there in the dairy for cream. And last month he had received all of 30 kroner in payment. So his confidence means he didn't keep it confidential, but he revealed all that whatever he had. All his secrets he revealed. And what were those secrets? That he had received 30 kroner in payment because of the cow. The stranger must have seemed incredulous. So the old man felt probably he was not ready to believe that a cow could give him so much money. For the old man, he got up, he went to the window, took down a leather pouch that he had kept there in the window, which hung on a nail in the very window frame. And he picked out three wrinkled 10 crown bills, and then he showed him those notes, bills, those notes, 10 kroner notes. These he held up before the eyes of his guest seer. And probably that was only the earning that he had, nodding knowingly, and then stuffed them back into the pouch, and then he kept back that there in the pouch itself. Think over these questions. From where did the peddler get the idea of the world being a rat trap? Why was he amused by this idea? Why did he feel very interesting? Did the peddler expect the kind of hospitality that he received from the crofter? Why was the crofter so talkative and friendly with the peddler? Why did he show the 30 kroner to the peddler? Did the peddler respect the confidence reposed in him by the crofter? That we'll see now. The next day, both men got up in good season. So it was a morning, both of them got up. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, so he had to go and milk the cow. The other man, this stranger, probably thought, rat trap peddler thought, he should not stay in bed when the head of the house had gotten up. They left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door, put the key in his pocket. The man with the rat trap said, "Goodbye, thank you," and thereupon each went his own way. But half an hour later, the rat trap peddler stood again before the door. He did not try to get in, however. He only went up to the window, smashed the pane, stuck in his hand, got hold of the pouch with the 30 kroner. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. See here, this crofter was very hospitable. He provided him what he could provide. And what has happened? This rat trap peddler, he went out along with the crofter when he went for milking. And then after that, again he came back after half an hour. And what he has done? He has stolen whatever the saving he had, 30 kroner. As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased. He was very happy as he had money in his pocket, and at the same time, how smart he was with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway. He had stolen money. He should not continue on the public highway, otherwise, he might get caught. But must turn off the road into the woods. He must walk in the forest. Woods. Woods means forest, in the jungle. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. First hour, there was no problem. He was quite happy because of his smartness. Later in the day, it became worse, for it was a big and confusing forest which he had got into. See, he was caught into a trap. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the paths twisted back and forth so strangely. It was very confusing. He lost his way. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally realized that he had only been walking around. So he started thinking that now he himself was caught into the trap. So he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap. So he started thinking about that, what he was thinking earlier, which was his cherished pastime. Now his own turn had come. He had let himself be fooled by a bait that was a temptation of 30 kroner, and he had been caught into that trap. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. The forest seemed like a prison full of trunks and branches. It was like an impossible prison. So he felt that he was fooled by that weight of money which he had stolen from this old man's house. And he himself felt he was caught in the trap of this world.